morning, everybody. Welcome back to the homestead. I'm going to give you a little heads up. I have a new toy I'm playing with today. So if the videos look a little shaky or a little out of focus or a little wonky, I apologize. I got a new tool to help with filming, and that is a selfie stick tripod thing. But this is the first time I've used it. So again, I apologize in advance for any crazy filming episode. So this morning, I'm by myself. Chris is off hunting, and I'm going to feed the dog, feed the chickens, and plant some garlic. It's nice and cool this morning, and we are supposed to get some rain, fingers crossed, this evening and all day tomorrow, hopefully, or a good part of tomorrow. We definitely need the rain. Well, all the rain that we had in the beginning of the season in the spring that was crazy, we now need that bad. I talked previously about how bad of a drought we're in, so I'm not going to cover all that again. But I thought I'd bring you along today to feed the crazy Groot. I'll show y'all how I feed him. It's a little different. And then we'll go feed the chickens, which you can hear hollering because it's a little past their normal time, because I slept in a little bit this morning because it's a Saturday morning and I didn't have to get up early. And then we're going to go plant some garlic. But let me show you how I feed Groot, and then I'll tell you why I feed him the way I do. Sit. Sit. Stay. Easy, easy. That was not easy. Sit. Wait. Wait. Okay. Okay. I don't know how much of that you could hear, but every morning this is how I feed Groot for a couple of reasons. The main one being that he needs stimulation. He is here by himself, so he needs something to entertain him. We've been wanting another dog. It just hasn't worked out yet. We're just waiting on a dog that we know is a good fit for us and a good fit with Groot. So I make him sit on the deck, and he sits and waits. He sits there and stays there. Then I come down. I call him to come. Sometimes he gets excited. You saw me say easy and point to the ground. Most of the time that slows him down. He knows he needs to slow down, but he was just overexcited. I am behind schedule this morning, so he thinks he's going to fall over dead because he didn't get fed at 6:52 this morning. And so then I call him to come. Then I make him sit, and I make him wait. We use wait for short little stays, but stay is stay until we are ready for you, and wait is just, give me a second, let me get whatever it is done, and then you can get up and I'll tell you when. He's still somewhat a puppy. He's only 19 months old, so he's not perfect at it, but he does it. And the other reason that I do this is that he went through a spell where he was following me down the driveway, and that's not a safe thing to do. So I use this technique. I feed him before I go to the chickens, just like I am now, and this keeps him occupied in the mornings for work long enough for me to go down, feed the chickens, come back, grab what I need to grab in the house, get it in the truck, and get out the driveway. It's a distraction for him, so he doesn't want to follow me out the driveway. And he doesn't always do that, but just to kind of prevent that from becoming a bad habit, this is how I feed in the morning. Now at night, I feed him straight out of the bowl. I make him sit and wait for his food, and he has to have the okay command to eat, but I don't make him do this every evening, just because I don't need it. In the morning, it gets his brain going, and it keeps him stimulated for a little while, keeps him distracted, so I can do what I need to do and get out and it just works for us. I have to thank my daughter Erin. She is a vet tech, and she did some dog training classes when she was in college, and that's actually what she's working towards doing full time. And so when I have an issue, I can call her. So I kind of have like a trainer in my back pocket. And then some things I've just picked up over the years having dogs. My mom used to train all our dogs, and she had things that she used, and I do that. And he's not an extremely over the top trained dog. We are always working on something, but this is just kind of a fun thing that we do. He enjoys it. It also keeps him from eating too fast, which is a problem we had when he was younger. The bowl we use has, you know, the little cutouts in it so that he can't just, I mean, he still eats quickly, but he can't just scarf it all in one bite. So that's why we do what we do with Groot. Now, I'm going to show y'all the newest addition to our homestead. I saw an ad the other day in one of my ladies' homestead groups for a local lady. When I say local, she's about an hour and a half away. You might already be able to hear it. Who needed to rehome her meat birds, and she'd only had them about 3 or 4 weeks, and they had an emergency, and so they needed to rehome them. So I went and picked up these cuties. These are our Freedom Rangers, and we will butcher these Thanksgiving weekend. So, and you can see they're still leaving some feed on the ground. I've been working on how much they actually will eat. So there is still feed on the ground. So this morning I'm going to feed them less than I did yesterday. And I'm home all day today, so I can keep an eye on it and make sure that they have what they need for food. That's my lid, y'all. It makes noise. I apologize. Now I am soaking their feed. I did this with our last batch, and I find that it works well. But again, this is a feed I hadn't used before. I bought this feed from the lady I bought the chickens from, and so I'm not familiar with it, so it's taking a little bit of experimenting. And I'm only going to feed them about half of what's in this bucket. All right, babies. Okay, they're fed. Now my poor little laying hens are finally gonna get fed. They're usually pretty patient, but some mornings when we try to sleep in a little bit on a Saturday or Sunday, they get a little loud because they get hungry and they're ready to go. So I'm excited to have meat chickens. We really weren't gonna do meat chickens. There's a couple reasons for that. One is just time with both of us working. It does add a little bit to my schedule in the morning to feed them. The other is we don't have enough electricity to run a heat lamp. So I can't really like turn on a heat lamp and keep them warm and brood them. We'd have to brood them in the house. We did it last year. We used sand to keep them warm because that's the only way I could do it. I'm sure I put a video up. If I can figure out which one it is, I'll link it below about how I did that. But basically I took a tin pan, filled it with sand, warmed it in the oven, and then set their little plastic brooder tub thing that I had them in on them at night in my house. That was not fun, y'all. Not fun at all. So this year, we kind of just thought, you know what, wait till we have a little bit better system. But these were already feathered out. They were ready to go in the meat tractor. So it was a perfect fit for us. I went to Chris and said, hey, this lady's got these chickens. They don't have to brood in the house. Let's try this. And he was like, okay, we can do that. So that's what we're doing. And it worked out. It actually happens to be a good time frame for us for when we butchered last year. We use an old fridge for storing our feed, so it's a little hard to open some days. Sorry about that, guys. I told y'all, new toy, I'm trying to figure it out. Now, I will tell you that every night when I feed them at night, the chickens, I also scoop their feed for the next day. So I don't have to scoop it in the mornings. Again, it saves me time when I'm trying to get off to work. Good morning, my little chickies. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody this morning? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hi, Cookie. Hi, Cookie. Hi, Big Mama. Hi, Brat. Hi, Danger. Hi, Sweet Pea. Hi, Free Baby. Hello, Brat. Y'all enjoy your yummies. Enjoy your breakfast. I don't know if y'all caught that. I call the guineas brats. We don't name them. I just call them all brat. 1 through 7. That's just what works for us. Okay, something else we're doing. Y'all know, if you've been with us for a while, we used to have ducks. And a bobcat, we're pretty sure it was a bobcat, got in. I'm going to use my handy tool here to push open this top. A bobcat got in and ate all 3 of our ducks. So when we're home, we leave the gates between the chicken run, the feed lot, which is the little room I'm standing in, and what was the duck run, and let them go in there because there's grass in there. So they kind of free range in there. We've tried free ranging here, and with the bobcats and the coyotes, it's just not really, you almost have to just be outside the whole time. So right now they have this whole run to be in as well. And if y'all aren't familiar, there's our garden on the other side of that fence. Oh, they already know I opened the gate because here they come. And this is our rain catchment to water our birds. It goes in this tank, has a hose. We have an auto feeder that we had for the ducks, and then I bring the chicken water over here and fill it too. Okay guys, we're out here in the garden. I'm going to plant garlic this morning. Honestly, this is the first time I've ever planted garlic. So I got on YouTube, making sure I'm doing it right. I'm still not 100% sure I'm doing it right, but we're going to do it anyway. So like I said, about 6 inches of rows, about 6 inches apart, and then I'm going to plant the garlic itself about 4 inches apart. I have 175 cloves to plant today. That sounds like a lot. It is. But not knowing how it's going to go, I'd rather have too much than not enough. And actually, we really wanted a lot more than this. We thought we'd get more, but I bought everything the store had. I did buy organic. I did not buy your standard garlic from the store. But this is kind of an experiment for us. If it goes well and we figure it out, then next year I might order actual garlic from Baker Creek or in my garden, or someone else who sells garlic for planting. But right now, this is what we're working with. So I'm going to set the camera up and let you guys kind of see what we're doing. I am doing it in this bed, which we've amended, and it's all set to go. We're still in the process of amending the one back there, but this is shaded a little bit right now by our tomatoes, but they won't always be there. And then I'm going to also, okay, Big Mama, we hear you. Once it has come up a little bit, been in here a little bit, I'll put some straw on top to give it a blanket for the winter. Now that's the garlic I'm planting. Again, I got it from the grocery store. It's organic. I will plant it like this with the harder piece, the flat piece, down into the soil and the pointed part up to the top. And then I bought 21 bulbs of garlic, and I got 175 usable cloves for planting. The other ones were too small, so I have lots of little small cloves of garlic in the house I can use for everyday cooking. All right, let's get planting. Okay, so to get started, I just marked where I wanted to plant, dug it, loosened up the soil a little bit, make sure it's all good to go. Made all my holes. I did 6 rows here, and this will give me an idea. I can get 6 across. So now I'm ready to just plant this section, and then I'll do another section, and then I'll do the next section if I have enough. I just kind of did it this way because it's easier for me. This way I can keep them in line somewhat. You can see that I kind of tried to keep them, the holes in the same, lined up as best I could. The other part is this gives me something different to do. So I'm not like drawing all the rows, tilling up all the ground, and then digging all the holes, and then filling all the holes. It lets me just kind of do a section at a time, bending over, standing, whatever I'm doing. I'm not doing the same repetitive thing for too long at a time, and that just helps with my back, my arms, just whatever might be needing to be cautious about. So for me, that just works better. Physically, it works better for me. And as you get older, you look for those things that are physically easier for you to do. Okay, all planted. That section's all planted, and I'm going to just do my next section. There they are in there, and I'll come back and cover them probably after I get all the sections done. But there they are. They're just waiting to be covered up. Okay, so I'm gonna plant the rest of this bed, or as much of it as I can with what I have, and then I'll show it to you guys right before I cover everything up. Okay guys, garlic's all planted. 176 bulbs. Now some of those were smaller as I got to the end. I was kind of like, meh, but I went ahead and planted them. mean, what's the worst that can happen? It won't grow. It's not going to grow if I don't plant it, so might as well plant it. So I'll give you a quick shot of what I've done. It's kind of hilly right now. I just put them in, covered them up a little bit. We're supposed to get some rain tonight and tomorrow, so I want to go ahead and let it kind of settle a little bit, and I might come back later and smooth it out a little more, but I don't want to compact it too much. I'm afraid if I put all this dirt right on top, it's just gonna, and it rains really hard, it's gonna compact it down. So I'm just gonna kind of play it by ear. I don't know. Do I really know what I'm doing? I don't know. It's a guessing game some days. But I have faith it'll work. Something will grow on this bed. Hopefully garlic. Okay, so it's all planted. And it looks kind of bumpy and and hilly in areas, but I'll come back and smooth that out after this all dries up a little bit. I don't know, that way you can see how it looks. It just looks like dirt on the camera, so hopefully you can get an idea of what it looks like. Okay, y'all, this dog drags stuff from our property. I don't know where he finds it. He brings home sheds, he brings home, that's probably the rib off of a cow. Who knows? He brings home all kinds of stuff, but he doesn't bring me live animals, so I'm not complaining. When I was a kid, we had this dog, and I actually had two of them that would bring us like live animals, baby rabbits, snakes, porcupines. That's always the fun one, because then, of course, you know, if your animal grabbed a porcupine, it has a face full of quills, and you have to pick those puppies out by hand. Not fun. Not fun. My mom did that a few times. I was still a little too young to help out with that. So, okay guys. Well, I'm going off to the house. I have a lot of little things to do in the house today. I'm hopefully going to start editing some videos tomorrow, because Chris took the computer with him to the lease so he could check his cameras and do all that. And I'm done in the garden for the day. I'll come back later today after I check when it gets closer to watering time and see how the rain chances look. I'm watching the birds. I'm going to show y'all something. They're just all over right here. I don't know how many I can get because it's hard to see them if I don't focus in a little bit. But there's just a lot of them. So they're like all coming in and then separating and coming in and separating, and that's what they do. My birds are safe. That's all I care about. That's all they're going to bother on my land is the birds. And if they'd even bother my chickens, I don't know. But there's probably 15 of them just lazily floating along, doing their thing. Alright guys, that's where I'm going to end this video. Like I said, I have a lot of things to do in the house, you know, like cleaning. I'd rather be out here. It's a beautiful day. We have a nice breeze and the sun's up, and it's probably about 80 degrees, maybe 82, somewhere along there. I don't know, I haven't checked. It's very comfortable. I mean, I'm out here in a sleeveless shirt. I'm not chilled, but I'm not sweating to death either like we did this summer. So, oh, that one came right over. Oh. Okay, let's try this again. Groot, no! He's eating my radish seeds, y'all. Stop it. This dog will eat anything. If it doesn't bite him first, he'll eat it. We throw stuff in our compost, and as soon as he comes in the garden, that's the first thing he does. He wants to go to the compost and figure out what's in there to eat. Like you'd think he's starving to death. So I've got a radish plant here that I'm trying to dry the pods so I can save the seeds, and he just reached over and took a bite off of it. Weirdo. Yesterday, I had eggs sitting up in one of my tank beds. I do this every day. When I collect the egg, I feed the chickens, collect the eggs, and usually then I come over and water. So I set them on my oregano plant in my tank beds where I always put the eggs. They're nice and soft and not going to fall, and I don't forget them. They're always in the same place. Yesterday, I look over and he has reached his little tiny honey up in there and taken out an egg and has cracked it open and eating it. Now, we do occasionally feed him raw eggs on his dinner, but we crush them up And so, I mean, he knows what it tastes like. He's not trying to be bad. He just knows that that's food he can eat. And it's fine. I just want him to get it in a bowl, not off the ground or whatever. So that's our weirdo dog. Hard to find a mate for that. All right, guys, I've rambled again. So hopefully this video isn't going to be forever long. And I hope y'all enjoyed this beautiful day. It's, like I said, I'm loving it. I might sit outside and read for a little while today. Just soak up some vitamin D, relax, enjoy this quiet breeze. I don't think y'all can hear it, but it's beautiful. All right, guys, we'll talk to y'all later. Love ya. God bless. Bye.